Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Reviews here. So, I watched Insecure Season 3, Episode 1, and everyone's lives is still a mess. So we're just gonna go through this pretty quickly because the car scene was really entertaining. But we'll start this off where it actually started off, a sex scene. But the sex scene, I said, look at these two people. Look at these two black people having sex. And looking and said, okay, that's Daniel. I said, Issa. I was over it. I'm like, Issa. No, not Issa. Some random. We did see Issa, though. She was in the other room, hearing all the moans and the oohs and the ahs, and she was definitely over it. And Issa has a new job. Issa is a Lyft driver, not Uber, a Lyft driver. And she picked up this drunk guy who was ready to party. Well, he was done for the night. And he threw up in the back seat. And that's pretty much as far as being a Lyft driver. We see Molly. She went on vacation. We know Molly, the career-oriented / has difficulties keeping a man / sometimes has difficulty just all around with the sexual relationship. The last time we saw her, she had the stuff going on with Dro. And you see that Dro was reaching out to her and she was dodging him. Of course, that didn't last too long. That did not last too long. It was funny, though, when she was on the beach and she was telling that guy, the guy was saying on her, wanted to go out with her, and she was like, wait a minute, but can you even come back to the States? She said something slick, and he was like, I'm from Virginia. I'm from Virginia. But aside from that, we actually see her go and have interactions with Dro again. He was actually, giving her some head. And she was in charge. She was like, less talking, more, moving your mouthy down. I said, whoa, whoa. But Issa goes and picks her up from the airport. And it was so funny. Molly goes into the backseat of the car because she knows Issa was a Lyft driver. And so she's like, all right, look, this is a quiet ride only. And where's my snacks? Where's my this? But before we get to that, Issa, the last time we saw her when it came to work with We Got Y'all, which I never noticed their logo before, but We Got Y'all, it's, she's been demoted. And her friend, the girl, the nice, quiet, mild-mannered girl, white, like, we're just calling it what it is. She's the one that ended up getting the promotion, and Issa is on desk duty. So she can't even go around to the schools and do the physical activities that she used to do with the kids. She's on desk duty. She's one of those people that calls up. So she's like a marketing rep. So she calls up and asks the clients, what's going on? Because they're getting a lot of people saying that they don't want to work with We Got Y'all anymore. So Issa actually went and reached out to them one by one, because one of the people she called said, look, your salespeople, the reps that you sent over suck. That you only have one minority, which was Issa. Your logo is offensive. And the logo is actually, maybe if I can find it, I can put it on here. The logo is a bunch of black kids in the palm of a white hand. And it says, We Got Y'all. I never thought about it. Never paid attention to it. But yeah. Yeah. So Issa actually, I'm jumping ahead. Issa decides she goes and brings that information to her boss. Her boss was livid because her boss is really stressed. Her boss is probably trying to figure out, dang it, our numbers are terrible. What are we going to do? And Issa has this solution. She's like, look, here's the reason for this and that. So maybe we can do a brand change. Maybe we can go and do this, do that. The boss essentially told her off and said, this is what happens when someone's really stressed and they need to, let loose. Because of some of the past stuff that's gone on, and obviously a small portion of this is Issa's fault, but the company has been a mess way before she got there. And that's why when her boss told her off and said, this is your fault, maybe you need to go and figure out what you can do differently in life, because every time you come in and try to do something, it backfires, it causes problems. See, it's okay if it causes problems as long as the solutions outweigh the trouble. Right now, they're just in a steaming pile of Duke, and maybe it's because they don't have someone like Issa that can go and say, wait a minute, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Because she was that person for her company, her and her friend. Her friend is just allowing the boss to do whatever she wants because Issa talked to her friend, and the friend said, you know what, I just got this new job. The boss is really stressed and she doesn't really like you right now, so I don't feel comfortable. And I said, that's fair. That's fair, and at least she told Issa. But aside from that, Molly's going through a lot because she likes Dro. Dro and her, after they had sex, Dro the next morning got a call from his wife, and that again kind of reinvigorated that feeling that Molly has, which is she wants to set boundaries. Her boundaries are we going to be F-buddies or are we going to be friends? Because we can't be both. Because then it would feel like a weird relationship. And she didn't say this, but I'm sure she was thinking then it'd feel like I'm really cheating, helping you cheat on your wife, even though I know you have an agreement. I feel bad that Molly is supposed to be leaving this man alone and she can't do it because Dro has everything that she wants in a relationship except for he is married. And so at one point they have an argument because she was supposed to meet up with Dro. I'll tell you what happened, the incident with Issa, which is why she couldn't do it. So he came into her house the next day and she asked for her key back because she felt like we're a little too close. I already told you that I'm just want you to be the F-buddy, and yet you decide for yourself that we can't do that. That instead that we're gonna still come to the house, do this, do that. And she was like, you need to figure out what you're going to do. I'm not going to go and be a part of this whole thing with, you and your wife. And he was like, oh, you're not about to go and talk about my wife. I said, and that's it right there. That's her point exactly. No matter how much you try to make her feel good, try to be friends, and also have sex, you're still married to that woman. And she's always going to come first as she should. As she should. And that's why Molly decided right now, why don't you go and leave? We don't need to do anything. How about that? We don't need to do anything. And I know that hurt her. I know that hurt her. But Issa was talking to Molly and saying how things are, because Molly, things are going well. She got she left that old job. The stuff with Chicago moving forward. It was just a lot's been going on positively for her house. For her life. And she went on vacation. And now it's time for her. Now it's time for Issa to figure out how her life is going to go because things are still messy. Things are still a mess. Messy, a mess. There's always something. Always something. Unfortunately, like I said, stuff at work isn't going well. And at home, she's over it because Daniel is just sleeping with these women. Speaking of Daniel, apparently he's going to be working we see his job and we see that he deals a lot with people who can't really sing. The bane of the music industry, can't really sing, don't have actual talent, but they know someone who knows someone, and so he's going to allow it to happen. He's going to pump her up. He's going to do whatever it takes. He's sleeping with a new girl every night, or just sleeping with women every night, which is fine, except for Issa. Even though she's trying to play it cool, she has a problem with it. She does. And this comes ahead when because Daniel, after the whole original sex thing with the random, Issa said, I need for you to tell me when there's going to be someone over. And so he does, but then he doesn't tell her when she left. And so Issa and him had an argument, and he was just like, wait a minute, you're blowing up on me. You're the one who set the parameters of all of this, even though this is my place. And she's like, yeah, I know you let me live here rent free, but here's the reality. It's close to my job. And he's like, but it still doesn't make sense. You have other options. You could live with other people. You decided to choose to live with me. Because Daniel, when he was playing his music and Issa, was commenting on it, because she caught him, vibing out to his music, he tried to kiss her. And she said, no, we're just cool. We're just cool. We're supposed to be just friends. And that's when he's trying to figure out, are you playing around with me? because he talked to his sister earlier on in the episode. And the sister said, Issa has options. Why would she go and live with you? How's this going to work with you and this other woman? Is the other woman cool with you living with another woman? Like, what's really good over there? The questions. Someone with logic and someone with sense is asking all the right questions. Unfortunately, things come out ahead and they have this big blow up, and the blow up is centered around, are you playing with me or is this real? Are we going to do something or are we not? And Issa at the time's like, no, we're not doing anything. You need to chill off. She comes back around and then towards the end of the episode saying actually she still has feelings for him. So that's why, of course, she's not going to like when he has other women around, but understands that they can't really be together. And she appreciates everything that he's done and continue to do for her. So I said, okay, look at the maturity. Look at the growth. Look at the growth. Are people still upset that Lawrence is gone? This storyline would not make sense with Lawrence in it. It only worked because it still came around to having to do with Issa. That's the premise of the show. Issa and Molly and their friendship and their friends and everything that centers around them. I'm sorry people thought it was different. Now we get to the Uber ride. Issa convinces Molly, hey, you have some time, right? Why don't you come and, do this Lyft thing with me? I said Uber. This Lyft thing with me. And it could be a Lyft party. And I said, okay. All right. So they pick up these two girls. They're young. Just trying to get into the club, trying to have fun. And it was cool. Issa had the Capri Sun, she had the candy, and the girls are having a nice time. They're talking about, okay, they're trying to go after this guy and that guy. And it's like, if they're not there, then what's the point of them going there? And Issa and Molly were just reminiscing on how, wow, the good old days. And then after the car ride was done, Issa got a 5-star rating from them. And they said, they enjoyed their Capri Suns, and the driver was cool, reminding them of their auntie. Of their auntie. I said, why do you have such a young auntie? Oh, God. Okay. Okay. Next thing is this guy. They pick up this guy who Issa thinks is attractive, and he's cool and laid back. If you watched How to Get Away with Murder, it's the same actor who played who ended up being a part of this brother and sister duo that killed their parents or their adoptive parents. Yeah, the light-skinned black guy with, I don't remember if his hair is actually bald or if it's just low cut, like low cut, like barely visible. But he's in there and he wants to go to this, I guess, like upscale restaurant. He's not really for their LA. He keeps saying this LA this, and all the people at LA like that, and the girls, because Issa and Molly, they like him, so they're kind of playing around, and Molly asks for his phone and changes the location, and says, no, you need to go to the spot. And it's just like a quick little fast food place, and you're gonna have the best time. The problem with that is there is no problem, and you can tell that Issa's checking him out, and he's checking her out. Everything is great. Until let the party continue. Oh, another dude? If you guys watch The Quad, the actor played Junior on The Quad. That's why he looks familiar. I mean, that's why he may look familiar to some of you. And he's a big guy. He's a big guy. He's not fat, but he's just like a big guy. And, oh gosh, that sounds weird. But, so he gets in Issa's car, which is, again, it's just like a small to mid-sized car. So he takes most of the back seat. The other guy's there just chilling, and big old dude decides, oh, Capri Sun? Oh, you got the Sun whatever type? Oh no, dude, you don't want the Sun whatever type. This is all right. And then he lights up a blunt, and he's just like, sir, this is a professional setting. I can't have you do that. He said, oh no, it's cool. And then other guy tells him, no. Why don't you go and be respectful to the lady? She told you no. And he said, dude, I'm not gonna let these hoes. I said, these hoes? These bees? Who? Who? Next thing we know, a fight commences. And I thought, see, big guy, he looked kind of, he didn't look like a fighter to me. He just looks like one of those dudes that people don't mess with just because they're tall and all of that. But he got beat up. I was a little surprised by that. He got beat up. The other guy still got some hits as well. And so then Issa, oh my God. She's like, wait, I can't stop the car. I mean, there's not a parking spot. There's not. I said, listen to Molly and stop the car. What is wrong with you? You need to get them out. It was so, see, he's just so awkward. Still so awkward. There's a fight going on in the back of your car, even though this is a professional setting you're supposed to set, and you're worried about parking. Issa. So then we have, she finally pulled over, and the first guy goes and leaves, and then Molly's like, oh, dang, you got beat up. Issa, he's not good. He's not okay. And I think the show did end with Daniel and Issa having a quick conversation. Sidebar, when Issa wanted to do her usual rap in Daniel's bathroom, it was so funny how he doesn't have a regular size mirror. He has like one of those barber mirrors, the handheld barber mirrors that was just kind of plastered onto his wall, so she couldn't get into her. Oh, this is going to be such a different show. But I'm ready. So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week.